Alright, I'm making this quick video just to talk about a couple things real quick. First of all, due to stuff I'm not going to get into, I no longer have a job as of Friday. So, last Friday, not this Friday. And so I decided to do a couple things. First, just apply to random jobs, obviously. And second, I'm gonna try something I've been wanting to do probably for a couple of years and just been dragging my feet on, which is try to make some games. I got some ideas for games. I don't know if any of them will be good, but I'm gonna try it. So I went through this tutorial, which is by Heartbeast. I'll link it in the description, and then using this tile set, which is the Open Pixel Project 2017. I couldn't find a lot of details on them. I'll also link it in there. I'm I'm not like I don't think it's a bad tile set. It kind of does what I want it to do. It's just like not the maybe not exactly the aesthetic I want, but this game is like not going to see the light of day probably in terms of ever getting released. It's more for my amusement. I called it Jumpman, reference to Mario. Uh, Buttons work, so I can hit quit the game. I'll go back over here, click start, starts the game. Got your little guy, jump, he animates. It's got some frames going back and forth, some jumping frames. He'll slide off the edge, so he doesn't just stand on the edge, kind of goofily. And then this is the Godot logo. Godot is the engine I use. It's free, open source. I wasn't going to spend any money, obviously, not making income anymore. So I just use this. When you touch it, you go to the next level. This other level. I I really think the background is kind of dumb for this, but it's the one he used in the tutorial, so I just used it. It's like you're in a cave, but the background is sky. It doesn't make any sense. But so this is the third little level I made. So you can do some stuff in here. And so it's, there's some a little bit of nuances for those who actually know programming stuff. I'm not going to really get into it. It's not anything in depth, but although it's kind of neat. Like there's a little momentum, like he moves a little bit. He doesn't just stop, kind of like, how Mario kind of slides. He doesn't come to like a full stop. And then it just goes to the beginning, and you can play it forever and ever until you die. I didn't make an end screen because at this point I didn't see the point in wasting my time in making an end screen because I'm never actually going to finish this game. I just wanted to basically spend a week figuring out how basic stuff works in Godot and do a little bit of coding. So that's basically the game. I'm probably talking a little too fast. There's not a whole lot more to show. This is just like the basic editor. Most people are not going to care about how all this stuff works. I did this all through a tutorial, so like none of this is my stuff. Here's like the very basic player code. That's like 90% of the code for this game is just right here, which is just your player jumping and moving around. Fun else if statements, which I learned a little bit of this with JavaScript. But the problem with I was learning JavaScript on Khan Academy, which is a great resource, but it wasn't really building towards anything. So I wanted to build towards something which, like I've spent, I don't know, 3-4 weeks probably doing stuff in Khan Academy over the span of like several months, and don't really have anything to show for it besides like a goofy little snowman and like some animations and some other stuff. This is like, a fully playable little game. Granted, it takes less than 5 minutes to play the whole thing, but it does a bunch of different stuff, and it like scratches a bunch of different itches in terms of me like learning different stuff. So I dig this. Those want nuts and bolts. This is GD script, which is like heavily based off of Python. I don't really know much about Python. I learned a little bit like a couple years ago and forgot it all. So this is kind of like Python based. It's a little bit different. GD script is made specifically for the Godot engine. It has 3D support, but I ain't messing with 3D for a long time. Like I want to just tinker with 2D stuff. So I don't know if like anything interesting will come out of this. I've got an idea for probably like 4 or 5 2D games I could make, and I think my idea right now is just to like spend as much time I can each month like making as much as I can of each idea, and then seeing if there's one that I think is actually decent. Um, this was just a very simple 2D platformer because platformers are easy and simple and very intuitive to make. It actually, I could show you this. So I mean, you can't see, and I don't think I can control the menu with this, but I mean, I can use my Xbox One controller to do it, and it feels pretty good. Like just in terms of like the button responsiveness and stuff like that. I'm using the D-pad. I don't want to use the joysticks. Actually, don't work, which I don't know. I don't want to play a 2D platformer with joystick anyway. So that's pretty cool that all that works. After I don't even know the total hour time I spent on this. Probably less than 15 or 20 hours if I had to guess. Because I was doing other stuff like applying to jobs and some other stuff in between. But it's cool that you can do something like this in a very short amount of time if you just take the time. Like, even if I was working, I probably could have just spent like 3 hours every night, 2 or 3 hours every night, and like come up with this. And now that I've done it once, I can do it a lot faster. There's like some auto tiling stuff that I won't get into because I think that'll bore people, but I thought it was super interesting. I made all these levels myself. I didn't do any procedural generation, which is, the computer making the levels, which is something that I would definitely want to learn how to do, is procedurally generate stuff, because I like the idea of computers making levels and not me, because me making levels is more work. But anyway, that's pretty much it. I don't really have anything else to say. I don't want to take up too much more time, people's times, but that's kind of what I tinkered with. I don't know if anything would become of this. I don't know. I have a lot of fondness for video games, a lot of ideas of what would make a good video game, a bad video game. I think anyone who knows me and plays video games, because I usually don't talk about video games with people who don't play video games, knows I have like very opinionated taste when it comes to video games, and I'm not shy about that. But I want to see if I can actually make something that's good. I'll probably make some stuff that sucks along the way, but I don't know. I think there could be some better design stuff out there, and there is some great stuff. Like, we're living probably in the best time for video games, obviously, but I don't know. I got some ideas, so none of which I'm going to share right now because I don't want people stealing my ideas. Actually, if people would want to steal my ideas and make them into games, that'd be great. Then I wouldn't have to make them, but I want to try them and just see. If nothing else, this will teach me how to code, which is like a skill I've wanted to have for a while. And just learning basic tutorials doesn't really get me going in the morning, but the idea of making something that I can show people like this at the end of the day, and like people are like, ooh, that's cool, even if they don't know how it works. Like, showing somebody like JavaScript code that maybe does something practical is not very exciting, but showing people a video game, like, you get a reaction of like, oh, that's really cool, or oh, that's exciting. Like, someone who doesn't even know about like video games and computers will find this interesting, to where like, I feel like half the stuff I was doing in JavaScript that was cool was just like only other programmers would think was cool. So this kind of gets a more immediate reaction, and looks neat and would probably be fun to like show to people. Like, families and friends would maybe like mess with this stuff, as opposed to like just doing boring coding stuff that like nobody's ever gonna see or is just in the background. So I don't know. I'm going to try it. May fail spectacularly, but I was just thinking maybe like once a month, or maybe even more than that. I'll just make like a little video of what I've been up to, and go from there. So that's it.